All right, it looks like we're live, everybody. Welcome to the show tonight. We've got a lot of people on here, Nick. We're going to have to say hi, I think, to everybody here. So it looks like they've already been chatting it up before we got on.
Well, hi, Surfer. How are you?
Good. How are you doing? I don't know where I put my glasses. Just a second.
I'm doing well. Hi, Jeff and OC Stacker. And let me see. World Paper Money Club, Knox Stacks. Seymour, West Texas Stacker. We've got Craig. We have Seymour. Oh my gosh, the chat just went by really fast. And 79, one of my favorites. How are you guys this evening? And Chew and Silver Wolverine, Deslogic, Perry Martin, Mark B, E1337, aka Brett. Good to see you. The Kansas Kid. Wow, we have a lot of people. Nickel Stacking. Good to see you guys. We have some fun stuff to talk about.
Yeah. So what are we going to hit? What are we going to talk about tonight, Nick?
Well, I mean, we could start with a certain flip coin.
Oh my goodness, I've never seen it before. Let's see it.
I know. Well, I do want to thank the New England Patriots for sending me this flip coin. And of course, we do know that it came in this awesome envelope. And I do know what the T stands for on my flip coin. T is for tails.
All right, look at that. So
it's hard to see. Oh, there you go. And then you can see the inside. It says Game Coin Kickoff, and then the National Football League, and then the NFL logo with 2021 on the side. So T is for tails. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. And then here's the front of the coin.
Look at that. It is so shiny looking.
I know. Nice I love it.
Did you find any grass yet in the case?
No, but I did open it, but I wasn't able to get it out. So I was not going to take it out until I can get my white gloves.
You didn't open it.
It's pretty stuck in there. It's good and tight in here. And so the ref may have just been trying to remember, which side was going to be, which side is tails.
There you go.
So.
I think that's good. All right, I'm going to put us back in that.
But I do love it.
Well, so tell us briefly recap that for us. I think we've got a few people on here that weren't on last week.
Oh, well, I had contacted the New England Patriots and asked them if they could guide me in where I could find a flip coin, but one that had been games used and on the field. You cannot get a Super Bowl flip coin, but you can get a regular season game. So they just asked me for my address and just sent me one. So, and I was thrilled because that's not what I was expecting. I was just expecting some guidance as to where I could find one.
I think it's awesome. You know what? One lesson I learned a long time ago in life is if you don't ask, you can't receive or you can't get.
Yes. And my mom and dad, we were always brought up where it says, what's the worst that can happen? They can say no. So that's the worst that could happen. So they contacted me. I mean, I sent emails, phone calls, and I was contacted right off. And then I sent an email back with my address on 3:00 on a Friday afternoon. And I received this package in my mailbox on a Monday afternoon.
So Nick, I'm hearing in the comments here, which are scrolling by pretty fast. Deslogic said you should have asked for the football too.
Well, I was just going to say a joke, but I don't want to say that joke for myself.
Yeah, we're going to leave it at that. But
yes,
I think what's cool is that you had something you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You figured out how to find it, right? You didn't expect you were going to get it for free.
I did not.
It showed up at your doorstep. So I think that's pretty awesome.
I didn't expect. I mean, I have been looking for this for a long time. I should have contacted them a long time ago, but I didn't expect an answer. I mean, this was just a Hail Mary. Football pun. This was a Hail Mary. I just figured, you know what? I might as well just send a couple emails. So
I think it's awesome. Yeah. And I'm going to put a challenge out to everybody that's here. And I'm going to say, see if you can pull off what Nick did with your favorite football team. See if you guys can find flip coins if you want them. We're not going to give you any hints on how to do it yet, but I'd like to see if anybody else can get one.
But I tell you what, though, I knew the exact department that probably I would get a response from the fastest, and it so happened. So, anyways, that's as far as I'll go with that. But yes, I did contact the New England Patriots, but it was a certain department that I knew that I possibly, if any department, I would get an answer from this department.
So we have an interesting question for you, Nick. And we'll go back to you on the full screen here. Let's see. It was from World Paper Money Club. What made you interested in asking for a flip coin?
When I first started collecting, I said that would be my ultimate coin that I would want to have was a football flip coin, and preferably from the New England Patriots. I've always been a football fan, something that I enjoyed watching with my dad. And before every football game, it cannot start unless you have a flip of a coin. So it was how I put both my love of coins and football together.
I think that's awesome. Anything else new update wise?
Yes.
Since the last time we talked.
Ever since that, we've been talking about flip coins and or a flip of a coin. I've been finding all these interesting facts. Okay. So I'll just give you one little quick fact, and then we can move on with the topic for the evening. Portland, Oregon was named in a coin toss. Asa Lovejoy. It was the first opportunity in 1845 to name the city he'd recently established with Francis Pettygrove. The two decided to settle their disagreement with a flip of a coin. So the best out of 2 out of 3 won, and it was Pettygrove. And he chose Portland because he was from the city of Portland, Maine. So he wanted to name it Portland. And then Lovejoy had intended to name the place after his hometown of Boston.
There you go.
So how interesting is that? So that's how we got Portland, Oregon, because the person who founded the city was from Portland, Maine.
So next time you're founding a city, you could try a flip coin.
Yes. And yeah, I wonder, it also went into more of the information too of what coin that was. And it's very interesting now because I think it's known as a Portland penny. So maybe I'll go after a Portland penny or something, similar to the 1 cent that they use in their coin toss.
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I do have a little update for myself too before we get into the main subject, but I hope I didn't cut you off there.
Well, I was just going to say, very fitting. I would have loved to have been named Boston. That's my favorite city. So couldn't go wrong with Portland or Boston.
I don't think you can. And it's interesting because, a lot of the city, there's a fair amount of cities on the East Coast that have new in the name, and they're named after a city in England, for example.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
many of them
you get a lot of that, which is pretty interesting. So, when you find a good name, it sticks and you want to name something after it. I know, my kids are all named after family names. So we didn't get too super creative, even though some of our friends, or at least people we know, got crazy creative. And then you have to figure out how to spell names. We kept it fairly simple. But I was at the Arcadia coin show this last weekend and had a good opportunity to meet a handful of stackers that were out there. And a couple that I had not known before that I met. One is Chef Stacker. So a quick shout out to Chef Stacker. And if you don't mind, I'm going to pull up their YouTube.
Sure, you just got a super chat as well from JT.
Awesome, JT. Thank you. Let's see, a super sticker. Thank you so much. So I'm going to do a quick screen share here, and just show you a couple channels of people I met this weekend. I haven't met in person before. So this is Chef Stacker LA, and you can see this image down here in the corner, which is showing one of the booth setups or the tables, the coin tables. And he had a great shout out. So I want to thank him for that shout out. And it was great to meet him in person. And then also Transient Stacker is another stacker that I was able to meet. And you can kind of see setups here. But anyway, it was a really good, fun experience, and I thought it was kind of cool. I've never really done my own coin show or been involved in one, and I had opportunities to sell some coins as well as opportunities to meet a lot of great people. And then I even had some trades. So I wanted to show you a couple Morgans that I got on trade that I thought people might like. So let me figure out how to do this. Okay. So Nick, I don't know if you'll be able to see these or not, but here's a handful of Morgans. So I was able to pick up an 1884. That's in pretty good shape. You know, when you guys are looking at Morgans, one thing you always want to look for is the best breast feathers. This one does not have the best breast feathers, but it's an okay shape.
It's a pretty one, though,
It
nevertheless.
is pretty. This is a 1921. There you go. And this one does have breast feathers, which I tend to find those in the 1921s.
Yes.
They tend to be pretty good shape. What else we got here? We've got a 1882 that still looks like it's in pretty decent shape.
That looks beautiful.
And let's see the breast feathers on this guy. Uh-oh, it's a lady, sorry. You got a little bit.
How do we know that the bird's a lady?
Well, this is a lady. I don't know.
Oh,
It could be a boy.
well, could be an old bird, I guess.
And this one looks like it's in really good shape. So this is what the last two are the ones that got me kind of excited about this. This one's
Craig,
1880.
Craig, it's just the new Morgans I do not care for. I like these Morgans. And it's the high points on the coin that you're really looking for to see how worn they are.
So look at this one, Nick.
Ooh, that's a beauty.
It does have
they are good looking Morgans.
And then there's this one that was pretty cool too. This is an 1879. It does have a little bit more wear on it, but I was told it's possibly like this because it may have been in someone's grave. So this one might be a stolen grave robber.
Well, it could have been a pocket piece as well.
It could have. So this one is worn, but the color was really cool on it. So
Silver said that one of those was gradable. I'm not sure which year he was speaking about, but
one of those. This one here, the 1888.
Yes, that's beautiful.
So I thought this one looked like it was probably gradable because it looks like I can see breast feathers on it. It's maybe hard with the camera there, but you can kind of see it there. That one looks like it's in pretty good shape. So what I find interesting, Nick, is just a couple things I wanted to point out for everybody. Everybody at the show was looking for American gold buffaloes. Those seem to be the most popular coin. Even at the Long Beach show I went to a little while back, everybody was looking for those too. So if someone's contemplating between buying an eagle or a buffalo, right now I'm going to say that a buffalo probably you'll have an easier time selling it for a higher price. And the other thing that I found too is some of the Spanish gold that we had, people had a lot of interest in that. And so it was pretty cool to see what they had interest in. And then, we had some fun display pieces that I would, people call semi-numismatic, right? So some of the collectible stuff that has lower mintage, but is new modern coins, things like that. People had interest in and would stop and just ask you about it. No one really wanted to buy it, but it did bring the traffic. And then this is the last thing I'll show before we get onto the topic. Is a 12-ounce silver golf ball. How many of you guys like to go golfing with silver? It's pretty heavy too, but this got a lot of attention from a lot of people as well, which was kind of fun.
So you also mentioned that they were looking for 1/10 as well.
Oh, they were. So the Morgans I traded for cash plus I traded the 1/10 for the Morgans plus some cash, and people were looking for 1/10 as well. And honestly, I think 1/10 are really easy to sell compared to even the 1-ounce coins. But it really depends on the person and what they're looking for. And, premiums are higher on the 1/10, but, it all depends on where you buy it at.
It does. And you can shop around and you can always find lower premiums on them. It's still going to be a little bit higher than it would be on a 1-ounce. but I do think that you are going to be able to make that premium back, and you could just charge it to the customer as well. So I do believe that they're movable, a knock stack. They really are. And somebody's going to be able to afford a 1/10 versus a 1 ounce, especially during times like, in the economy that we're in right now. Cash isn't coming as easy as it had in the past. So they're going to be looking for that 1/10.
They definitely are. And the other thing I'll throw out there too is rounds were popular. So I did pick up some of the cowboy rounds from Scottsdale Mint that are only at SD Bullion. So if any of you guys have interest in those, you've got to find a private seller or you've got to find SD Bullion. That's the only place you're going to get them. And I was able to pick up some of those, and people had interest in those. So those sold pretty well too. And those actually sold at $29 a piece for a round, which was pretty good. That's probably about what you would get for, pretty close to a Britannia. Maybe a Britannia is going for 30 or something like that.
Knock stacks brings up a great point.
What does he have for us?
I can't do it this way. Using two screens here. He said something about the mint is missing a literal gold mine, not bringing the 1/10 buffaloes, and I agree. I would buy fractional buffaloes if they were offered.
So another person we met was, I think it's Scrooge McStacking. I may have the name wrong. So I could not find his YouTube channel, but I know Chef Stacker's in here. So Chef, if you want to put a link to your channel in here, feel free to do that. And then if you can correct me on the name for Scrooge McStacks or something like that. I got to make sure I have his name right. Sorry, I'm messing that up a little bit, but he had one of those that he pulled out of a bag, and that was the first time I've seen a 1/10 buffalo. That was.
Is that right? I didn't know they made them in the past.
And then it went back into his bag very quickly. It was not a possible trade. It was not a possible anything. It was just, let me show you this, and you can't have it.
So we've had some more come into the chat. We'll just say hello to quickly. Silvershire came in, and Brett would like to know how much you paid for your golf ball.
Guys, I don't even know. I'll tell you how much I paid for the golf ball, but it's probably pretty stupid of me. So this one I will show you. So this was on an auction. Where's the stamp? Here's the stamp. If you guys can, if you know that symbol, you guys know that symbol. Anyway, this was on one of the Silver Dragons deals. So I think it ended up being $600 for 12 ounces. So it's about $50 an ounce. That's about as expensive of anything I've ever paid for.
But SPB really just came in the chat.
Hi, SPB, what's going on?
Sean, it's good to see you. And Joseph.
And the cool thing about the golf ball, though, is it takes over 3 hours to make one of those. You have to do a lot of hand polishing. There's a lot of work that has to be done on it. And so you're paying for a pretty good premium to have that. And for me, it's a prop for my channel. It's something I'm going to be using here pretty soon. I need to take it to the putting range and maybe to mini golf.
And therefore write off.
And make some fun videos with it so I can write it off. But it's a cool piece for my desk. And, I don't recommend stacking things like that. But if you can get your hands on one, it can be pretty cool. But if you don't have your own way to pour it and you're in an auction, you might get stuck with having to pay a little bit higher fee for those things. You may be able to get one for $400. But hey, that's how things go. Sometimes I can write it off. How's that?
Yeah. Yes. So the little coin show that we had in our area was at the local Elks Club, and I was explaining to SW on another program Monday that it was a lot of graded coins. There wasn't a lot of raw coins. They were very expensive. A lot of the men didn't know that you could actually get the PCGS app or the NGC app and actually scan the coin to see the value.
Yep.
And I did that, and I was just like, and I walked away. And there was also somebody selling silver rounds, 1 ounce for $30, and they were the generic looking ASEs. And I said, I can go get a real ASE for $27 right now. Why would I spend $30 for a generic round? So they didn't understand that concept. So I think I might enter that show next time and start selling some stuff, because I would not sell some of my stuff that they were selling for the amount that they were selling theirs. And
Well,
I was
I think you bring
surprised.
up a good point. So at the show in Arcadia, a lot of the people that I met were older than I am
Mhm,
and have very large collections. So most of the displays were graded coins. There was a lot of silver. There was some gold,
mhm,
and then you had a few people that were more bullion, and then you had some sections that were a lot of like pre-33 gold. And the section we had set up was very heavy into just different stuff. I had this golf ball, right? And so someone asked if it was 3 ounces. It's actually a 12-ounce golf ball. So it's pretty heavy. No one could believe that that was 12 ounces. They're looking at a 10-ounce bar, comparing it to it, and the 10-ounce bar looks way bigger. So it's kind of interesting how the round makes it hard to determine. But I got the sense when I went around and looked at a lot of the booths, uh, there was a fair amount of markup on the coins. And if you don't have one of those devices, if you don't have a device, if you don't have your phone with you to check some of the pricing, you're a little bit subject to whatever price they're selling for. And so that could be something that would be kind of disruptive to some of the coin shows potentially, is transparency like that. So I'm not saying people are trying to deceive anybody on price. It may just be what they think the price is. They may not even be aware that they can go and search that and look it up. And then things do change over time. So it was kind of interesting to think through that, Nick, after you had mentioned that, having been at the show, because pricing at shows a lot of times is pretty subjective. There's a lot of negotiation that goes on. I didn't have anybody just say, "Oh, here's what's the price and here's the money." Pretty much everybody wanted to negotiate.
Oh,
And
nobody wanted to negotiate at the show I was, and if they
then
did,
you
it
then
was
you
5 or
wouldn't sell.
$10
Yeah.
down, and that's why I walked away, because
Yep.
I just knew that I could find it elsewhere a lot cheaper. And, I'm sure that they know the value of their coin. They may not necessarily know that there's an app that they can download that anyone can scan a coin at that moment, um, but I'm sure that they know how to look up the value of that particular coin.
Yep. And so, I think you guys got to be smart when you're going to coin shows. It's best to know what you're looking for. It's also best to have your budget in mind before you go. Cash is going to be king when you go to these things. And the last thing I'll just say too is you've got to be very careful when you're going in and going out. Don't leave things in your car that's visible, especially if you're in California. And I would always bring someone with you if you're going to a show. It's just for safety. I heard stories there of things, people having issues with going to a restaurant after they went to the coin show and having their car stolen, not stolen, but broken into, things like that. So you guys be safe when you're doing those. But I enjoyed it. Both coin shows I went to, I did get some pickups. So I was able to get Walking Liberties $50 at the previous show. And I was picking those up at $18 face at Long Beach, which I think is a really good deal for Walking Liberties. So that's kind of what I had to say on the coin shows. It was pretty fun.
It's the PCGS app or the NGC app. And you can go right to your app store. It's free. You download it, and then it will ask you. It just says verify, and then you hit the verify, and then you can scan the barcode on the coin or on the slab that the coin is in, and it'll give you the exact value. It'll give you all the information.
For sure. In Silver Wolverine, just to clarify a little bit, as far as deals or price goes, I'm talking mostly bullion. So when you're looking at graded slabbed coins, there's probably not a whole lot of movement there. But when you're looking at, say, an eagle or a buffalo or a 10th ounce eagle, there's a little bit of negotiating in price that can happen there. But to Nick's point, a lot of times you're talking, $5, $10, $15 maybe, things like that. And then the last thing I'll kind of say too is if you're trading, it's also important to understand if the person's giving you retail or wholesale price and how they're valuing what they're trading. And it's important for you to understand what you're trading at, wholesale or retail price too. And my recommendation is to do the same thing for both parties, right? To make it fair. So if you've got one guy going wholesale, one retail, someone's going to be on the bum end of that deal, and you really don't want to do that.
I'm glad Silver Wolverine is in the chat because he said he would like to see somebody make a, or Craig said he would like to see somebody make domino set. Well, I had always teased SW with all his Walker 2021s and his NGC slabs. I'd like to see him do dominoes with them because I said it would probably fill his whole house, and I'd like to see him set up dominoes. But he said he couldn't get him to stand up, but he tried.
Yeah.
But there wasn't silver, but at least it was his slabs of Morgans that I wanted him to try with.
That would be fun. I mean, you know, I've seen
real
people
silver
building
ones.
towers with like their Morgans, and I'm not going to do that.
No, but to have, I guess somebody, I have seen a set of dominoes, so in silver. I'm not sure where, but I think I've seen those before. But nevertheless, I still would like to see Silver Wolverine set up his Morgans on his desk in his house and just, they won't stand, they don't have flat bottoms.
Yeah. Well, let's kind of transition into our conversation topic for today. I guess I want to ask everybody a question. What do you guys prefer?
Footage.
If you prefer PCGS, put a 1 in the chat. If you prefer NGC, put a 2 in the chat.
You can do dominoes with the old Annex white slabs. Huh. But of course, Silver Wolverine doesn't have them in his 2021s and those. Flag City, and good to see you, Flag City and Starika. I'm with the chat. I like NGC.
So let's see. We've got everybody coming in now. So we've got Joseph Lopez. I don't know what 3 is. Is that both?
Maybe that means neither. And there's also Annex as well. And I think there's a purpose for Annex, and I think that they are really excellent at grading.
Broke Stacker. Okay, 3 was no slabs. Okay, 3's no slabs. You guys got ahead of us. It actually looks pretty much like a tie almost.
And I think there's a purpose for slabs, and I do think that there's a purpose for no slabs, that I'd like to see the coin raw.
I agree too. So, I like to, when I'm looking at stuff that I get slabbed, I like to have some that are not slabbed. And I like to have some that are. And, I try to get the nicest looking ones I can possibly get. But at the same time, I think it's fun to have the actual coin to be able to take out of a case and look at it, hold it, touch it, that kind of stuff. I'm not afraid to touch these. They've been in circulation.
Right, exactly. Those, yeah.
But it's fun to be able to pull one of these out. And this is like a great one probably for a pocket, to hang around and show people. And that's a challenge that I think would be fun to do, Nick, is to challenge people to carry around their favorite, not a favorite, but a silver coin with them. And anytime you meet someone and you remember it, you can pull it out and have a little conversation about that coin, which would be kind of fun. It'd be interesting to see if anybody would do that challenge with us. But
so Seymour brings up a great point. And to be honest with you, I crack things out of sets all the time, or out of slabs, or out of mint sets.
Yep.
Or I cut them open. Yes, that's my thing.
We're gonna have to do that on one of these live shows, Nick. You're gonna have to crack one open.
Yes, and I don't have any at the moment. Hi, Paula. Good to see you. I don't have any at the moment because I've cracked them all open. But funny that Paula just came in the chat. I won one from Blue Ridge, a 1969 mint set, and I cracked that open.
There you go. And so broke stat. Let's see. It wasn't broke. Who was it? Oh, Old Man Jenkins 771 said Morgan or an ASC in your pocket, I think is what he's saying for carry. So the other thing I'll throw out there, if you guys really like your coin and you're carrying it in your pocket, put it in a case and let the case get trashed if you're worried about it. Otherwise, get a coin that you're okay with getting scuffed up and, a little bit worn. But what would you do, Nick? Would you carry around an American Silver Eagle or a Morgan?
Neither. They're too heavy.
She's going fractional silver.
Yeah, I would rather do like a Walking Liberty.
There you go. That would be fun. Because a lot of
And we don't
people
really,
haven't seen
women, we're
their
not going
wallet.
to carry stuff in our pockets anyways. It's going to be our pocketbook. So I would throw a Walking Liberty or maybe even a 64 Kennedy in my wallet.
Okay, I think it's a good choice too. We got a peace dollar in for Broke Stacker's pocket. So the good news is Broke Stacker is not completely broke. He's at least got a peace dollar. That's good
Oh, a
news.
2016. I'd be curious why the 2016. Well, and also, if he's not carrying it in his wallet, he's going to throw it in his yard and blow it up. And he's done that with a maple.
There
Really
you
good.
go. Well, funny enough, at the coin show, I actually sold 2 of those 1-ounce silver cards.
I
You've
have a
seen those
couple of
before? They're
those.
really
Yeah.
fat. So those sold, and people were looking for that for their wallet. So I don't think it's that crazy of a thought to have some silver in your wallet or in your purse or to carry a coin with you.
And it's supposed to bring you luck, I believe, is why people carry a piece of silver in their wallet or in their pocket.
And if you can get one with the 4-leaf clover, I bought a bunch of those for my family for good luck, for fun, and maybe that gives you double good luck. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. Has it been tried in your
I don't know.
family?
I'm gonna have to try it. I'll have to put it in my pocket and see if my luck starts getting better. That would be funny. Um, so far, I've had pretty good luck, so we'll see. And I did have some gold in my pocket for a while. I made a video where I had put some grams in my wallet when I went to the East Coast, just in case things got crazy. And then I forgot that it was in there for a while. It's not in there anymore. But I have done that in the past, and I have had silver. And when I go traveling, I usually take a couple ounces of silver with me on my backpack.
So I prefer NGC as a grading company because I like the look of the slabs better. I think I like the rounded edges. I think the cost is better. The turnaround time is better.
Yep. Do you have any of those to show? Both
I
the
do.
Okay, I'm gonna put the screen on you real quick. All right, so people can see it better. Okay, so this is an NGC slab, and I have to agree that I like the look of the slab better, and I like the way that the coin's kind of suspended, and I'm
Mhm.
okay with it being white. That doesn't,
Yeah, that
bother me.
doesn't bother me.
But I feel like these stack vertically better on top of each other
Yeah,
than
and this
the
is a
PCGS
PCGS.
ones.
Yeah.
However, I was talking to Mike that was on my last video about pre-33 gold. I was talking about him today, and in his opinion, he thinks you can get a better value or more money if you have it graded by PCGS. That they're a little
I
bit
just don't like
stricter on
I
their
don't I don't like
grading.
I just don't like the slab as much.
I just don't like it as much, and I don't know if it's because it's kind of see-through, but not exactly see-through.
It just looks I don't know. I just don't like the edges. I don't like the edges. And I like how they stack. I don't like these things poking out.
Yeah.
So I prefer NGC.
And the obnoxious thing too is if you have both kinds, you can't use the boxes that are officially from either
Oh,
company for
I
both.
know. I
It won't work.
do love the boxes that we get from PCGSO. I think they're great to store other coins in
They are.
or more graded coins. And no, the PCG or the NGC does not fit in there very well.
So I've had to go get a box of each kind to
Okay,
fit them in a little better.
and this makes sense too, but it's what and I purchased these. It doesn't matter about she likes the coin inside, not the
Yeah,
slab.
so I agree. So I have both kinds, and I don't buy it for the slab. I don't go and say, "Hey, I just want an NGC version of it." I'm looking for the coin. But if I
And
were to
that's
see 2 of them, my eye prefers the NGC.
so
However, a lot of times I end up with the PCGS one.
I will buy the coin versus buying the slab. But
Yep.
when I'm sending one in for grading myself, I prefer NGC. So I'm not buying the slab either. I'm buying the coin, but I will send it in to NGC before I would send it to PCGS.
I agree. However, I've never sent into NGC yet, and I have sent 2 of Drew Brophy's surfboard coins into PCGS. So I'm really curious to see how long it takes to get them back and how massive those slabs are going to be. But I'm crossing my fingers they both come back 70. I've only seen one for sale that's been slabbed on eBay, and I missed out on being able to buy it. I tried, but it went over my limit. I think it ended up going for $170 or something like that.
I haven't heard anything. I'm sure Paula would probably know more about this.
Yep.
I do know that they have grading, but I'm not familiar enough with them to be able to answer that.
And I on the CACs too, I don't know, but I was able to see a handful of slabs that were in their slab, and I have to say their slab is the best out of the 3 companies we're talking about. So they kind of took what NGC, the best of NGC and the best of PCGS, and combined it. What do we have on here? Okay.
Do we? I do believe in 10% donations or tithing, 10% tithing. But I also believe that we should, as much as we are blessed, we should give back, and we should, as much as we can, help others. And how you choose to do that, whether through church or giving food away, canned goods, I think that's all, personal.
For sure. So I agree with the same thing. I'll put it out there. To me, it's not. I pay tithing, but it's not 10% paying tithing. I get to keep. It's all God's, and I'm blessed enough to be able to keep 90% of it. The other 10% goes to help pass the word out there. If you're not religious, I think you'll also find that it's very advantageous for taxes to donate 10%. And there's a lot of good you can do with it. And if you don't have a lot of money, you can donate time. And time can definitely be a very big benefit. There's soup kitchens, there's helping other people out that maybe are okay and have a house, but are older and need to move things around. There's a lot of stuff you guys can do. And what I found in life is when you look beyond yourself and you help others, it comes back to you.
Yeah.
And so I would definitely always recommend that.
So Paula brings up a good point as well, because I think you and I had discussed this, that I did waste a lot of money when I first started and I got into coins, and I sent a lot of coins into PCGS to be graded. With that being said, I was getting a lot of advice from people within the YouTube world and on the outside world saying I should set that in for grading. And again, I should have learned what I was looking at first before I even asked advice elsewhere and before I even sent them in. That would have saved me a lot of time and money and disappointment, because you think you're going to get this great grade and you're going to get this coin back and it's going to be worth a lot of money, and more times than not, it's not.
And I agree, because one of the problems, Nick, that people run into is they'll see a coin, and I'm just looking at the ones I was showing earlier. You might see a coin and say, "Oh, I heard the breast feathers are important, right?" Mm-hmm. And so you learn that and you send this in, but you may not realize the date is a common date, for example. Mm-hmm. And you may grade it, and now your coin is actually worth less than your cost to acquire it and your cost to get it graded.
Yes, it's good to know your key dates as well, because you may have this coin that looks really, really worn, and it may still be worth a good bit of money. For example, this is a 1921 D Walking Liberty. And if I just saw this in a coin shop, I wouldn't have looked twice at it if it was raw. Now this coin is worth $300 as a G6.
There you go.
And it's very worn.
Here, leave it up there for a second. There we go. So that is interesting, guys. What do you think?
I mean, this is a coin I probably wouldn't even look twice at if I didn't know what I was looking at. And it's a 19, and
it's pretty darn worn.
Feathers on that bird. And it's a 1921D, which is a key D in the Walking Liberty series.
So I think those are all really valid points. And I think the other thing for me is, you know, I had felt a little bit of pressure that I should send some stuff in, but a lot of times when I'm looking at more modern coins, does it even become worth it, right? Like you're looking at all these new Morgans and peace dollars that have been created, and you go on to places like eBay and it is completely flooded with graded Morgans and peace dollars. Are they really worth the extra cost? And we're talking like big markup on those too.
Randy Matthews, good to see you. And
Randy, how's it going?
Gary. Yes, it's a nice coin, but if I didn't really know what I was looking for, and same as this one is a 1916S PCGS, and this one's a G8, and it's very worn, but it was 210. It's worth 210.
There you go. So I'm going to do a quick call for thumbs up. If you guys are in the chat and you have not hit the thumbs up, please do that. That'll help more people find the live stream tonight. So thank you guys. Okay, so Nick, looking at that, here's the other question I have for you. What makes a difference between you getting a raw coin or a graded coin when you're looking for a specific coin and date? Why would you decide to go raw, or why would you decide to go graded, or is it just what you find? What have you decided to do?
It really depends on what I'm looking for. When I went to that coin show, I saw all these graded coins, but there wasn't a series that I was really looking for that I could say, okay, I want to buy this graded. For my 1921D Walking Liberty, I knew I wanted to find that somewhere graded because I was seeing a lot of 1921Ds and they were so expensive. And I really didn't know the grade when I was looking at them raw enough to know, okay, this one would grade this, and this is a good price, because they were all going for so much money that I felt like I was going to get a better deal looking for it graded. And I did. So some stores I saw that looked just like the coin that I have graded, they were looking $500 for that coin. So for me, it was safer to buy it at graded.
I think that's a good idea. And honestly, if you buy things right, you can't go wrong. If you end up changing your mind down the road and you purchased it, at a fair price, you'll have a better chance of switching it out if you want something different. What I have not done is what you've talked about, which is popping something out of a case. That scares me. I don't know if I can do that.
I have done that a time or two, and they're not easy to break out. And I have done that for a crossover from a PCGS slab and the graded coin to see what NGC would grade it at. And so you have to be very careful when you're taking those out of a slab. But I don't take them out of slabs very often, but I do take them out of mint sets quite often.
So you took it out of one company slab to send into the other?
Yes.
What ended up happening?
They were the same grade, and that's what I kind of wanted to see. It was an experiment to see if they were spot on with each other, because they do say that PCGS is a little tougher on grading than NGC. So, and Annex as well. I may not like the slabs with Annex, but I have seen where others have done that crossover just to see if they were on the same grading scale as like PCGS or NGC, and they were spot on with PCGS most of the time. So if you're uncertain and you're not very educated on the grading system, I would suggest sending them to Annex, because they're about $10 a coin. You can get a sale on them, and then if it comes back high enough and you want to, take it out and send it to PCGS.
There you go. So for $10, they can be your grading company to help you determine whether it's worth it or not.
Yeah.
That's a lot less than what you're going to get for the other ones. I think my surfboards I sent in, because they are larger coins and it was a larger slab, I want to say it ended up being like $50 a coin to get them graded. So it may end up, it may be a break even. It may be a break even by the time I get it graded and what the thing's worth. But I wanted to try it out, and I wanted to have one of those as kind of there's some surprise stuff we're going to do with that later on. Once they come back, you guys will see that. All All right, let's see. We had a lot of comments just fly in here real fast. So a call out to Knox Stack. Welcome, one of the newest members of the Stackingsurfer channel. Welcome to the channel. We're hoping to get Nick here monetized pretty fast as well. So we got some plans to try to help grow her channel too. But thank you for that. I appreciate it. And let's see. There was a comment that the comment moved very fast. So let me see if I can find it here. I don't know if you can help with this one, Nick. I'm not super familiar with that, but you might be more of an expert there.
I don't think they're worth the price. No, which are we talking about?
What are you seeing those at right now?
In prices for Morgans, are we talking about the modern or we talking about the old Morgans?
Well, there's a couple things. I mean, I've seen cold Morgans, you know, people asking like $32 for cold Morgans.
Oh, great.
I don't know that I'd pay that.
I wouldn't. I mean,
Nick wouldn't pay that either. You broke her brain.
Well, yeah. I was what first initially came to my mind was the 2023 Morgans. So
we broke Nick over here by getting her to try to think too much about the 2023 Morgans, guys. Oh man.
Yeah, because I don't like them, and I think they're way expensive. Good night, Silverine. But yes, because some people say just because it's a Morgan that they can you know get a lot of money for them, but.
So I want to do a quick thanks chat out here to JT Coins earlier. We did chat him out for the super chat. If you guys haven't been over to his channel, you should take a look at that. I don't know if any of the mods can throw his channel in the subscription there, but he has some really cool videos on a lot of stuff, but he also makes custom rings out of coins. So I'm going to work with him and see if I can get him to make a custom ring out of one of my coins. And hopefully we can make a joint video out of that one of these days, which would be fun.
Hi, Diane Durbin. If you ever want to see something neat, you was talking about coin rings. Diane Durbin, her husband Joe Durbin, makes these awesome bells out of 90% silver coins.
I don't even know how you do that. That sounds awesome.
I mean, and I have one upstairs, and I wish I had it with me because the sound of that bell, I mean, just the sound on that silver, it's amazing, and they're very crafted very well. They're beautiful. The handles are beautiful. He just does a really nice job.
I think that's awesome.
I'll have to share that next time.
Yeah, so I'll show you guys one real quick here. So I did find I wanted to try this. I found this off eBay and it does not work for my hand. It's too thick. I can't bend my finger. But here's a coin. Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Do not tread on me. Okay. And they turn it into a ring, right? But the thing is, it's way too thick. So, you know, by the time I put it on a finger, I can barely bend my hand. It's too thick.
That's nice.
Anyway, I need to get one that's a little bit thinner than this, but I've noticed the silver can get marked up pretty good, but people do it out of gold as well. You wouldn't want to do it out of a 24 karat gold. It would get destroyed pretty fast.
So
but I think it's kind of cool.
I have this question here, and I have to say, I did buy the 2023 Morgan, and I sent that back to the mint because the quality was so poor. I did have the proof Morgan as well, and I've already sold that. So right now I have nothing from the US Mint. I will be getting the reverse proofs. I was in for 5. I've changed my mind. Now I'm only in for 1 set. I'm just not happy with the mint. The mint isn't my favorite. I'm not happy with mint products, and I certainly do not like the 2021s or the 23s.
Wow, look at this. This is okay. This kind of goes along with the other thing to bring up, Nick. I don't know if we can do one this long. Oh, there to pull it up. Look at that. So I don't know. We'll have to look into that. I'm not super familiar with that.
Yeah, I don't know enough about.
So rigged wheel stacking, you'll have to, if you have a link or something you can point us to, that'd be pretty cool too. So JT, I don't know if someone got your a link to your site, to your YouTube channel in there, but feel free to add a link if you'd like. And we'll get that on there for you.
So Knox Stacks did the same. He was in for 5, but knocked his down to 1. And we're coming close to that date. I believe it's November 9th. They're supposed to be dropping. So if you want to change your subscription on the Mint website, you better go do that now to make sure that it registers.
For sure. Sure. Good night. Bye contests. See you, bud. I did the same thing. I moved it down from 5 down to 1. And I couldn't figure it out. I kept getting all of these Mint boxes, and it was only showing that I had one subscribed earlier for the proofs and also for the uncirculated. And I ended up with 3 boxes each, and I was able to sell the uncirculated Morgans no problem. Peace dollars are still sitting here. I can't sell them. No one wants them. Even at $80, they don't want them. So, you know, I think the Mint made too many this year, and I think that's been a huge issue for collectors and resellers.
This is an interesting question.
That is a good question.
I'm gold, not silver, but gold. 1/10
Yeah.
for me.
For me, I think that's kind of what I'm looking at. Is I'm on the 1/10. I'm kind of buying what I can find at a good price that looks nice. So I have been buying different kinds of 1/10s, and that's mostly what I've been doing. I'm not, I don't know about you guys, but money has gotten extremely tight for my household. And so right now I'm trying to fit a little bit of purchases in where I can. I'm also selling coins that have gone up in value. So just an example of some good stuff in the past where I've made some really good calls is like a Lunar Tiger. I sold a Lunar Tiger and 10th ounces, and I've sold a 1 ounce, and those went for good money, and they went up in value very quickly. And people will probably say I'm crazy for selling them, but to me, I wanted to be able to get more weight. And when I see a coin that I own that I can do that, I'll do it. I've done it also with the Queen's Beast completer coin, gold coin. But gold is what I'm seeing people picking up a lot of right now. I think I think gold traditionally moves before silver does when you have high inflation.
I don't know enough about platinum, and that's something I'm looking at and researching, but I do not have any right now in my collection or stack, any platinum.
Yeah, I sold my platinum bars and made some money off those too. So I'll put out a quick word here. Get ready for Black Friday. Black Friday coming up is when you can get killer deals. So I was able to pick up platinum and gold at spot at AppMex.
And Sean has me thinking about platinum.
So I did it, and I was able to pick up platinum under 1,000. I think I sold it for like $1,200. Right now, platinum seems to be at a really good price. It is not a monetary metal, guys, but it is more rare than these other metals, and it traditionally is higher than where it's at now. A lot of times, it's higher than even gold. So I think it's something that if you are comfortable with your stack in gold and in silver where you're at, you could consider adding some platinum to it. I personally would not recommend platinum over gold or silver unless you feel like you've got strong stacks already.
Now, I've been meaning to ask Randy this question, and maybe I should save this for later on because it's a political question when it comes to the Bitcoin, or something that I was told this evening that my husband had discussed that they found. So maybe we'll just talk about that later.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's fine too.
Yeah.
Right. But I will throw out there, I've got friends. I got a friend investment group, just 4 of us, and they're pretty, they're in Bitcoin more than they are in precious metals. I have been able to get them to buy a little bit of precious metals, but they are razzing me right now because they've had like 100% return this year on their Bitcoin, and gold has not produced 100% return this year. But
I'm sorry.
What I'll tell you though, Nick, is I don't buy my gold to get 100% return in the year.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not buying my gold to make money. I'm buying my gold to retain wealth, and I'm buying it for stability. And in time, I know it's going to go up due to inflation. So, know what you're buying and why you're buying it is really important.
Hi, Brown Sugar, and thank you, Elle. I'm not a fan of palladium. I'll never be a fan of palladium. Look at the price of palladium now versus when it was a year ago. And look at the up and down it's gone through. So I'm not a fan of palladium. I'm more into looking into the platinum, but palladium negative for me.
Yeah, I think people were trying to unload palladium at the coin show, and they couldn't do it. No one
They couldn't
wanted
do
to.
it. Yeah, just go look at the history. Go look at it.
Yeah, the good news though is your catalytic converters are probably safe right now. People aren't going to be trying to rip those out of your cars at the moment.
Sean.
What do we have
Yeah.
here, Sean? Yeah, there you go.
Platinum Eagles are the only U.S. Mint change the design each year. Yeah, and those I might look at too, but those are quite expensive. Yeah, hey, Randy, you're right.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So
100% right.
I stack gold to retain money. So this was interesting. I told my friends that I use gold to secure my property taxes. So I will buy gold at the beginning of the year, and then I will sell it at the end of the year to be in my own bank to pay my property taxes. And so far, it has always afforded me a better position. So like 15% return on some of the purchases I've made doing it that way. But for me, it's to retain value. It's not to go make a ton of money. Bitcoin is not that. People are buying Bitcoin to get rich. Ask anybody that wants Bitcoin, why are they holding it? Because it's going to go to $1 million. And that's what they do. And they're trying to get rich on it. So if that's something you want to do, fine, go for it. But Bitcoin could also go way down a lot. It's very volatile. And you can lose it pretty easily too. You need to really know what you're doing when you're getting involved in that cryptocurrency. There's a lot of minutia to it. I'll put it that way.
No, that's not my wheelhouse. No, I don't plan to do that.
Yeah, I'm not a big poor guy. I think it's cool. Don't get me wrong.
It's very cool, and I'd love to learn everything I could to learn about it. But my nature is to be a perfectionist, and I just know that I probably could not do that as perfect as I'd like to. So I would always be melting and starting over. I would never be able to get anything out. But I would love to learn, and I think in people that do that, I have so much respect for them. I know it's not easy to do, and it's an art, and I'm not very artistic.
For me, I don't have the time for it or the space for it. You guys just putting videos together for the YouTube channel and coming up with ideas, it is really takes a lot of time. It's very time consuming, and to do things like pours take a huge amount of time. I mean, when I got the golf ball from Silver Dragons, I might be wrong, but I think he said it took 3 hours to perfect that one.
I don't have
That is a lot of time for
patient.
That's a lot of time for one piece, right?
Yeah.
And that wasn't the first time he poured a golf ball. He hasn't done a lot of them, but if it gets messed up, you got to start all the way over again, and you got to keep going through the process. And with something like that, you're doing sand casting, not a mold.
Yeah.
And you got to start over with making the mold and everything from the sand again. So I think that can get crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just not something I'd be impatient as well, just waiting and watching, and it was not my thing.
I'd probably burn my leg off too.
Yeah. Yep. Or I'd start a fire.
Or I'd get like a silver scar coming down my face.
Now that might be a little bit cool though. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
The Broke Stacker, I love to pour. I don't think it's bad, guys. I think it's awesome. I would love to do it. I just don't have the time now.
Great.
If I get I'm going to say when, because I would love to have this happen. But when I get to the point where this is my full-time thing and this is what I'm doing, then maybe there's time to get into pouring. But right now, I have a hard enough time keeping anything clean. I can't show you the rest of my room. It's got paper everywhere.
I'd probably have to go to Canada to find anywhere. I don't think there would be anything like that in Maine.
So now you're going to have to create your own coins, Nick.
Well, I do have ideas on my own coins. I have had that for a long time, hence Nick's coins. Oh, yeah.
So I think channel rounds are in store for just about any channel, right? At some point, I think some channel rounds would be great. And
And up until then, I mean, I got a flip coin.
she got a flip coin. That's a channel coin.
For right now, this is my but
There
I'm
you
not
go.
gonna share.
I think it's awesome. So the other thing I was going to just throw out real quick too, Nick, is a question for me to you.
Woo! I just
Um,
flipped it.
is there a specific coin that you're chasing right now?
No, not right now. Nope,
Okay.
not since I got my 1921D walking,
That and the flip coin, that
ribbon.
was it for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all done now.
All right. Any other goals for the rest of the year that you're trying to hit, or have you hit those goals already?
I'm concentrating on gold right now.
Okay. So let me ask the crowd. I want to see what they're thinking real quick here too. So um,
Oh, yeah.
I'd be curious to see, are you guys stacking more gold or silver? So just put in either gold or silver. I'd like to know which one you're stacking more of right now.
I was teasing him in Stormy's, chat tonight.
Breach.
Yep.
So Breach has got a prototype for my surfboard with the Stackingsurfer on it. And he made that when he was in Hawaii. And then when he got relocated to the East Coast, it took him like 2 months or 3 months to get all his stuff. So I'm
Oh,
hoping to talk
wow.
to him again and see if he can make some prototypes. That'd be kind of fun.
Wow. Yeah, he was talking about that he was gonna be making some more things, and they were gonna be even sexier. And so I was teasing him, and I said, "Well, are you gonna put me on one of them?" Just haha, kidding. So, yeah.
There you go. All right, so we're getting some answers in here. Um, not everybody yet, but I think we're getting quite a few in here. So we have instead of gold or silver, we have buffalo. So it could be either one. That's by Ellie. We got a couple golds, a couple silvers, silver, gold, silver, stacking gold. I think once again, Nick, we're at like 50% here.
I did buy a lot more, silver than I have been this past month with the dip. I have to say that, but as soon as it started going back up, I was kind of over it.
So I got this question for us to clarify. This is from Shiny Shinyman. I have enough gold and need to get my silver percentage up to 7-1. Shiny Shinyman, can you explain that a little bit more? Are you talking 7 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold, or are you talking something else? I'd be curious on that. West Texas Stacker is stacking e-waste. Are you going to be melting the silver out of that? I'm guessing that is probably what he's saying. A lot of people there's not a lot of silver recycling, so that'd be pretty cool. Okay.
Platinum and silver ikes.
Yeah, 7 ounces of, okay.
That was a good move.
Let's see what else we got.
And matter of fact, I just picked up some gold at an estate auction. And I was like, I'm going to wear it because it's really nice. I just have to bring it to the jeweler to have cleaned.
Yeah,
But
you hope
I got it
Johnson
very
wasn't
cheap.
wearing it when they, yeah.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh, now she's going to double clean it.
Yeah, that's my nature. Cleaning it until the
I'm just kidding.
gold
Look,
rubs off. No.
it was in their drawer. Don't worry about it, Nick. You're fine.
Well, now I'm gonna have to ask every time. No, just kidding. I don't think this
I'm so
particular
sorry.
stuff that I purchased, they probably weren't wearing it during that time.
Nick's going to be doing a jewelry auction here pretty soon. She's not going to tell you where it came from.
You're not kidding.
Oh, man. Oh, gosh. Okay. So the good news here is I think most people have a pretty good idea of what they want to do stacking. So a lot of them have plans. They've been following those. We've got probably half of them going into gold more, half of them going into silver. B3T0. Okay, we're just going to put this one up because I'm not going to read that whole thing off. We hit 2 at the same time.
There is an app where you can check for local estate sales also in your local newspaper for estate sales. And radio, I hear them on the radio, advertisements, but mostly I look at the app.
So B3TO said cash. So I think, stacking cash right now is good too. I think a lot of people feel that we've hit the bottom and gold and silver and cryptocurrencies are just going to go skyrocketing. The Fed's about to pivot. I got a feeling that they're not going to do that yet. I think we might get a rug pull. And just in case we do, you want cash on hand if we get a rug pull so you can buy stuff on sale. No papers in California.
That's interesting. Our local newspaper is like this thick. So,
wow.
But there is an app, and then there's auction zip that you can go to as well and put in your area, and they'll also have all the estate sales.
This one's interesting. Have you heard of this, Nick?
No, I didn't know.
I haven't heard of that either. But if someone's bringing in a bunch of jewelry, they're just trying to get rid of. Maybe that's a decent margin.
Maybe it's like, I would imagine like there's probably a lot of chains and maybe bracelets and stuff that have that may be broken and that can't be fixed. A lot of earrings I would consider. I found at a local auction that were going for very cheap, and they were 14 karat gold and earrings. I wouldn't wear the earrings. And a lot of backs too to the earrings that were being sold.
I think so too. And if we do get into, I hear we're in a recession, I hear we're not in a recession, right? It depends on the definition, and they changed it. But people seem to still have a fair amount of credit, because I went to Disneyland a few weeks back and the thing was sold out. And so, you're not going to spend money on Disneyland if you don't have any money, or unless you got a lot of credit, maybe you'd use that. But if we do get into a time, Nick, where there's a lot of people that are doing garage sales, I think there's going to be great opportunities for coin collections to look at, as well as for jewelry.
Yeah, you could look at the obituaries.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, guys. I don't like to call junk silver. I like to call it constitutional silver.
That's what I do as well. But
it's not junk unless you don't want it. And I think that's the term. It got that term because for a long time, people were trying to get rid of it. They didn't want it. They were melting it down. It wasn't worth anything to them.
So what do you know how to answer this question? I've never heard of it called junk gold.
I haven't either. And I don't think it is called.
But why isn't it?
It's not called, because it isn't junk. No one's ever decided to just start melting pre-33, except for the US government. And I think that was a mistake that they made. But
this is
ours.
Good tip.
Yeah, that's true. Has anybody tried flipping diamonds? I don't know if you can make any money flipping diamonds.
I don't really think there's a lot of money in diamonds.
So here's one for you, Nick. What do you think about that price?
I've seen it cheaper lately.
So I will tell you that it was going for between $20 and $21 at the
oh, is that right? The last time I saw locally, it was $17 for a dollar face. So it may have gone up, but I don't think I was seeing it at $16. So I don't know if I'd pay 20 right now. Give it a couple months and then I may have paid that. But as far as I might wait.
My number is 18. I look for 18. If it's at 18 or lower, I'm a buyer. If it's above that, I'm waiting. And if it goes up to I don't know, if it goes up to 30, I'd be tempted to sell it. But here's the thing. I think a lot of people are accumulating it, and there's only so much of it that's out there. So I'd hold on to it for now. De Beers.
I sold 50 cents.
Yeah, well, there you go. That
Duck
tells you it all
bears.
right there. So that's $22 face, guys.
Yep.
So at 20 could be okay right now.
It's,
But you may want to wait and see if the price goes down a
oh,
little bit. Okay, let's see. You guys are
a lot of the
pretty
diamonds, though, I saw that they were reselling were in rings and stuff that weren't very much, were like diamond chips. They weren't anything. They weren't like a carat or anything. And I don't know enough about diamonds. My gosh, you can create diamonds in a lab now. So
You can. So then you got to be able to tell the difference and how you
I don't know how I would tell
can
the
tell the
difference.
difference.
But I do know that I told my daughter when I pass and she has all my coins and all that stuff, that I want her to take my ashes and create a diamond. You can do that now with people's ashes.
And then you have to wear me around all day long.
And you have to wear me around all day long. Yep. Yes.
Well, yeah, I don't know. That'd be a little bit creepy, but hey, it's kind of a
It
cool
is
idea.
kind of creepy, but it's and I first saw that on the Kardashian show. But no, in reality, they really are. They have this whole program where you can get your ashes and turn it into diamonds.
All right, put a 1 in the comments if you're going to turn your ashes to a diamond. 2 if you're going the old way and just getting buried. 3 if you want to go and be buried at sea. I don't know. I just came up with
Oh
that.
my gosh, they even have green cemeteries now where you can
Okay,
where you wear
number 4
trees.
if you want to do a green cemetery and get eaten alive by the bugs. Okay,
No, you turn yourself into a tree. You get
oh,
buried
into
under
a
a
tree.
tree.
That might be a little hopeful. Okay, constitutional junk here. It's 1666 for $1 spot is a good price. If you can buy that, I would buy that.
What do you? Oh,
I don't know where you're
16.
getting that from, but I would buy that. Shiny man wearing human diamonds is a good one. You
I mean,
guys, maybe you don't know it, but maybe your diamond ring for the girls, if you've got diamond rings. A lot of guys don't have diamond rings, but maybe it is a person. Maybe you don't know.
it could be. I mean, they've been even doing that with their pets' ashes.
There you go. Well, I don't see any ones in here, so I don't think we're going to
Oh,
be getting any diamonds.
I didn't know that.
Diamonds go bluish under a black light. I'm going to have to try that.
Well, I don't have many black lights hanging around.
I do know that a fake diamond, okay, which is different than a lab-grown diamond, if you put a laser on it, it does not fracture or shoot the sparkles all over the place.
I bet nickel stacking would know this, but I think there's some china that under a certain light, it glows neon green.
That sounds radioactive.
And it's supposed to be good china. Of course, they don't make it anymore. It's an antique, but it's supposed to be really good stuff.
It gives you a third arm, but it's totally worth it.
Uranium glass. Yeah. It'll only give cancer of the, but
Oh my gosh. All right.
I'd rather be raptured than to die. Me too.
Yeah, I
too.
second. I tripled that one. How about put a 5 in there if you're not going to die? You're going to just go straight to heaven somehow.
Let's flip on it. Woo!
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna have so much fun with this.
On that one.
I'm gonna hurt myself trying to catch this. It flips really good.
It is uranium glass. Okay, guys. So
Woo!
if your china glows, you might want to put it a little bit further away from where you sleep.
Yeah, don't or don't eat out of it.
Oh my goodness. What if I don't know. What if your mouth was glowing because you were eating off the uranium china?
Well, then Sean would tell us it's the aliens coming. It's the aliens that left it here.
It's the aliens. Well, hey, I hear aliens are coming at some point, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
We keep talking about all these weird things flying around. I don't know why they only like the United States.
We have a celebrity in the chat now, the numismaniac.
Welcome the new. I'm not going to be able to say that. New.
Totally
Numismaniac.
the aliens.
Here we go. It's one of the hardest words for me to pronounce, by the way,
What?
Nick. Numismatic or
Numismatic.
Yeah, numismatic. I can't do it very well. I'm gonna have to practice in the mirror. I think I'm gonna have to get that one down.
Is that how you practice your words? Is in the mirror?
Rear view mirror as I'm driving.
Okay. I didn't. Good to know. We're getting to know each other more.
Yeah,
Like
I don't know. I'm kind of a funny
Santa
dude,
Claus.
so
He is Santa Claus, and he is the best Santa Claus.
that's awesome.
He is. I mean, you have got to go to his channel. If somebody could drop his link. Uranium glass is highly collectible. It really is. It's can catch a lot of money at an auction.
So here's the question: would you invest in uranium stock or uranium China first?
Uranium stock.
Yeah, that'd probably make you more money.
Yes,
don't
well, I
know,
mean,
maybe
if you can find the China, it really does go for a lot of money. It's very highly collectible.
That's cool.
But I don't think that I knew this because my mother told me when we went antiquing. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known that. So, you know, her thing is the depression glass and the uranium glass. Is green. Yes, it is green.
Okay, so here's a good question. Here's a good question for everybody in the chat. I don't want to put anybody on the spot with this, so don't feel like you need to answer this, but I would be curious to know if people actually have pre-33 gold. So if you're comfortable answering that question,
I'm comfortable answering it.
Throw a 1 in the chat if you if you like and stack pre-33 gold. If you don't,
glass, yeah.
put a 2 down there. I'm curious to see how many people are just bullion versus pre-33.
I do have some graded pre-33. If I was to buy it from a person that I really did not know, I prefer graded because then I know it's legit. I have found another auction that I saw a lot of raw pre-33 that was actually at a decent price. I did bid on it. I did not get it because they went too high above what I thought that should go for. So,
Okay.
but I'm going to keep watching that auction because I was pretty impressed with how much their Morgans are going for. I mean, they were getting coins for a steal. So I'm going to continue to look at this auction. And
I think it's good to find you guys. I haven't seen fake pre-33 gold yet in person, but I do think it's important to buy that stuff definitely from a trusted source. I mean, with anything, you want to buy it from a trusted source, but the pre-33 gold, for me, especially when you get into the smaller ones, my Sigma machine will not register anything.
Oh, is that right?
It just doesn't work. So I have to go off of looking at the coin when I receive it, and I have to go off of who I'm buying it from on the small ones.
Yes, I have a lot of depression glass too, because my mother and my aunts, they're old New England. So old New England is all about their china and having the prettiest tables and having. So I've got a lot of that stuff too. And I have the pretty pink depression, and it's beautiful. And matter of fact, depression glass was purchased in grocery stores and very cheap stuff, but during the war and people lost it and they broke it, and so there's not much of it around now. So to have some, it's nice. And now it goes for a lot more money than what you could acquire it for back then, and it was considered to be the poor man's china. Not anymore.
Well, I think that's cool. I'm the Stackingsurfer, not the Silversilver or the Goldsurfer, for a reason. I stack a lot of stuff, different kinds of things. And I think, Nick, if you find something of value, it's worth stacking something that you love and that you have that has value to it.
And it's history, right? And a lot of our coins are history, a lot of our china's history. And I think it's nice. And the old stuff is prettier to me than a lot of the new stuff. Even in the Morgan 2023s, the old are prettier than the new.
So real quick, going back to that question, we did have quite a few people that gave us a 1 that do have interest, or sorry, that do have pre-33. It seems to be fairly popular with the crowd.
This stuff don't do.
Let's see, Pyrex. Oh gosh.
No, thank you. That we could do without.
Look, if it's sold at Costco, you're probably not stacking it unless it's food and toilet paper. And you're probably not lucky enough to get the 1 ounce gold bars from Costco on discount, but
yes, you find that a lot in New England.
Let's see.
The milk glass.
So explain milk glass. I don't know what that is.
It is it's white with large dots, or what I would call pearls on them. It's decorative dots around, raised dots around on like glass, but it's white. It's normally white.
Yeah, I think I have seen that then.
Yes, and those are very collectible.
So, okay, go ahead with that one, and then I have another one to pull up in a second.
Well, I'm sorry that your stack isn't as large, but that's what we have it for, though. So for a rainy day, so to speak.
I agree, guys. Like, it is really, 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 really important to buy the right way. If you're buying stuff that is like super bizarre and rare, and you paid a lot of money for it, and you have an emergency, you're going to be hating the price you're going to get for things. So for me, I like to have a mix, Nick, of bullion to sell quickly if I need to, because I buy it, around spot, and I can sell it above spot. And my pre-33 is kind of more of the stuff that I'm holding on, passing to my family. But if I had to, I could sell it.
And just like was said in the chat, my stack is for if a rainy day, so to speak, if I have to sell. But my numismatic coins are not coins that I want to sell. So and that's the stuff that I have the emotion in. The stack, I don't have any emotion in it. So that goes to show you as well, we have to try to keep the emotion out of this in case we do have to sell. It'll make it a lot easier.
For sure. So Shiny Man, I did collect stamps a long time ago, and I collected like books of coins. I have no idea where any of this stuff went. It's all gone. So I'm trying to, my parents have moved from their house to a smaller house. I'm hoping when I go out for Christmas that I'll be able to see, some of it or find it, but I have no idea when. I used to do a lot of stamp books, which were really fun as a kid, and coin books. I have no idea where that stuff went. But stamps can be pretty fun too. And one thing I'll tell you guys, with the way inflation's going, if you're going to ever send letters with stamps, start buying those forever stamps. That is a deflationary asset that you can buy right now. I
have so many forever stamps.
Yeah.
Because now we pay bills and everything else online. So it's like, it's rare that I send a letter.
It is, but having those has been helpful because it's up to like $1.25 now or something crazy like that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought it was that high when I had to just.
And they're going to be going up again, from what I hear.
Yeah, just wait until you're buying a Coca-Cola for like $50. Then things are really messed up. I think that's Back to the Future. Remember 2000? Marty McFly went to the year 2015, and his Pepsi was $50.
This is a good question.
All right, what is the emotion attachment? Okay. Okay, what do you think, Nick?
Well, for me, my Walking Liberties is just a coin that I love, and I worked hard to collect all of these and to collect the whole set. So it just means, hi, Party Pickle. So it just means a lot to me. And it could be too the first Walking Liberty I purchased. It could be the last one I purchased.
Okay, Knox is correct me. It's 66 cents. Okay, so don't use a stamp to go to the post office. They charge me like $1.25 for sending something. But even 66 cents is over double what I paid for a lot of my forever stamps. I'm pretty sure I was in the 30-cent range for those.
And this makes sense.
Yeah, there you go. There's emotional attachment. So that's one thing I was going to comment on for you, Nick, is, these coins I just picked up at the coin show, It's the first coin show I've done a trade. So there is now emotion attached to these 5 coins, and there's a story attached to them. So, what I have to make sure is that I don't go overboard and feel like I can't sell those because of that emotion and that story. I've got stuff my dad gave me that I never plan on selling, and I'm just going to pass on to my kids. But I think it's important to not get too overly attached. After all, it is a storage of wealth. It is money. And if you need to sell it, you need to sell it. And I think you got to be realistic too when you're going to sell it. And so for that reason, I take Mike's advice from my last video, which is have an exit strategy the moment you're buying things.
You should, because it is so much easier to purchase than it is to sell. So if you don't have an exit, don't start buying, because when you do have to sell in quickly and you don't have an outlet, you're going to be really sorry that you didn't have that exit as you were buying.
Yep. And if you're wanting to sell your constitutional silver at $16, call Nick.
Yeah, because I'll buy. I'm a buyer.
All right,
you've got to have a plan. And a lot of people go into this without having a plan. And that's what I don't understand. Then you've got to understand what you're getting yourself into before you even start.
So Nick, I would love to keep going, but I do need to call it a night. And I don't know if we have a topic for next week yet, but if anybody has any thoughts on a topic, please send us an email or IM us on Instagram.
We can talk about flip coins, but
we'll definitely, I think we're gonna be talking about flip coins for the rest of the year. I have a feeling, at least at the intro.
And Brett, if you can go back in the beginning and look, he said something about Portland, Oregon too. We read a cool story about Portland, Oregon in the beginning. So you might find that interesting.
Okay, here's the last comment we'll take real quick. So I think this can be really cool too, guys. I have seen these, and I know a lot of people are looking for them. And I will throw out there, I don't do a lot of paper, but I did recently get a $5
oh my gosh,
silver certificate, and I've got a couple $1 silver certificates and some star notes. But at the same time, something like that is quite a bit more rare to find, and can have a lot of meaning for people.
Can you god the flip coin for a year-end party? No. We'll do a knockoff.
Okay, so Nick, here's what you got to do. You got to get yourself another flip coin and give it away for your 1,000 sub party.
No. Oh, another one?
Yeah, do you think you need another one? It doesn't have to be Patriots either.
Oh yeah, we could do that. Yes, but my flip coin?
No, that one's going on the wall behind your head. You need to frame that thing.
I will when I'm through showing it off. And it's not worth anything, you guys. I know it's not even silver, but just to think that this was on a regular season game field, flipped by the ref and picked by a team, whether it was heads or tails. It's just one of my favorite things now.
The flip coin needs its own channel. Oh my gosh, guys. There may have to be a weekly.
Please don't encourage me.
Maybe a weekly short by Nick. Maybe you do that, Nick. You do a short every week or every day, and it shows where the flip coin's gone for the day with you. So like the flip coin sitting at the grocery store, the flip coins at Starbucks.
Yes. But I wonder, well, I better ask the question first before I comment, but we'll see. Maybe I can ask the person that sent it to me to come and visit with us and talk about the flip coin. And
oh, that'd be awesome. We should totally see if we can do that.
I should do that. I can't promise anything, of course. I've already got the prize anyways, but I'm sure that they could give us a little bit of details on the procedures that they take with these flip coins.
I think it'd be great. Okay, everybody, last comment. Put a 1 in the chat if you want Nick to name the flip coin Flippy and take Flippy everywhere she goes.
Flippy, that's such a goofy name. Flippy.
Well, I don't know. You could call it something else. What would you like to call it? You can call it Brady.
A whole bunch of awesomeness.
Flipper. It's called Flipper.
No, because then yeah, no, we would just because then
I
we'll
don't
be a
know.
dolphin. We don't want to
Flip
be Flipper.
gets a little bit. We got to be careful with Flip, but
Name
anyway, I think that's
49er.
great. Well,
Hi,
Nick,
Julie.
I'd love to keep going, but I do need to call it a night tonight. But
my gosh, he had to get one in there, and I'm okay with that because it's kind of funny. OC Stacker.
okay, what did he get in there? Last one.
He wants to call it trashy. Hot heads or tails.
Gosh, Flipgate. Okay, I think we need to end here soon because it's.
I'm so. Let me see. Gronk. Let's see if Randy had anything though. Good night, pals. I'm surprised he didn't have a name for my flip coin.
You could call it T.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I found it. There you go, Randy.
I knew that was going to be coming up for him.
It's funny too, though. I have to laugh at it. I mean, there's nothing else.
You got Gronk, you got Nick's flip, you've got Nick's coin, you've got Hottie, you've got Peter's coin. What the? Okay. Call it T, call it Pat, flip flop.
Call it Pat. Oh, that's kind of funny.
That one's kind of
funny.
funny.
Name Pat. I think I like that the best.
All right. So she's going to name it Pat. And she's going to you got to do at least one short somewhere out in the wild where you're taking the coin and showing people,
I kind of like the name Pat the best because I mean that's kind of funny. Okay, we'll think on it. Nick pick. Oh, I just said. Okay. On that note, I had a good time.
Flippy Mick flippin' Perstein. Gosh. Well, did you enjoy the chat, everybody? I hope you guys enjoyed it. We try to bring you some fun subjects and have a fun time talking. We'll be working tomorrow to think of a really good one for Thursday.
Yes, I already have an idea for a guest that I would like to have too.
And anyway, so keep tuned. We'll have some other cool videos coming out soon, hopefully. And we'll have another great live stream. I think we're going to go the same time on Thursday at 7.
So, that's 10 p.m. Eastern. Yep. 10
p.m. Eastern. And bring your comments with you guys. And honestly, if you have any thoughts on subjects, it would be great to hear from you guys. Send us an email or IM us on Instagram. And we'll take that into consideration. And
Paula, I'm going to email you. I have a question.
And until next time, peace out.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, guys.